those around us if we realize that we're doing things because we don't know how to deal with the stress. We are coping by all kinds of different things, and to not judge ourselves, not judge those around us for those people dealing with their stress in a way that we just don't know how to deal with it. So I invite us today, as we're going through our practice, to be less judgmental on ourselves, less critical, less wanting to be perfect in an uncertain world right now, if that makes any sense. So I kind of have been thinking about that the last few days, and it really has made me feel better of not judging myself when I feel really anxious, and not judging myself when I'm trying to control different things and whatever. So as we go through our practice, we just try to stay with our breath. We try to do what feels right for us. So if certain poses don't feel right for us, we just modify it however feels comfortable for us. With my belly growing, I can't do some of the things that I used to do, but that doesn't mean I still can't do yoga. So we do what feels right for us, and I just invite us to keep finding our breath, finding our peace within inside ourselves, and just go with our practice. We're going to do some poses and some stuff that will help calm us and will help relieve our anxieties. And so, like I said, if something doesn't feel right, we just take a break. So as we breathe in yoga, we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. So we're going to start by breathing in for 4 seconds and then out for longer than 4 seconds. So we let our abdomens rise, and then we let our abdomens fall. So I invite us to just begin right now by breathing in through our nose for 4 seconds, and then breathing out through our nose for longer than 4 seconds. We're going to do some grounding things with our practice today too. It's really important that we just feel our body and feel grounded back to the earth, grounded back to our surroundings. So when we ground ourselves, we just feel that part of ourself either on the floor or on our mat. And then we just find our breath again. So we can just feel our hips on our mats, or maybe we're laying and we feel our back on our mats. And we just continue to breathe deep. And when we feel agitated or our mind starts to wander, we just re-find our breath, breathing in deep through our nose as long as we can, and out as long as we can. And let's set our intention for today. So what do we want to get out of being on our mats? Maybe we want to find some peace or love within inside ourselves, or serenity, or strength, or an even mind. Whatever it is, let's breathe in through our nose and send that intention right to our heart center. And let's do it a couple more times. And as we go through our practice, we try and let go of judgments of ourselves and competition with ourselves and expectations. We just are who we are on our mat today. We take care of ourselves right here, right now. And let's take a few more big, deep breaths, starting to allow the tension and stress to just leave our bodies. And then we're going to stand tall on our mats. Hey, Eric, will you get the remote and switch to the next song? Because it's the singing bowls. Will you see if we can see me tall? And once we're standing on our mats, let's just widen our toes. Feeling our feet just grounded right onto our mats. And we can close our eyes and visualize roots growing out of our feet, grounding us back to the earth. So we breathe in big breaths, and we breathe out big breaths, allowing those roots to just grow deeper and wider and stronger. Let's bring our attention to the top of our heads. We're just going to bring it parallel with our ceiling by tucking our chin under and straightening our vertebrae. And when it feels right for us, we're just going to start to gently swing our arms, waking up our bodies, allowing our heel to lift if that feels comfortable. If it feels better to just keep your feet grounded and solid and swing your arms, we can do that too. We just let it go, finding our breath. We can close our eyes if that feels comfortable, or maybe it feels more comfortable to keep them open. Big breaths, you guys. Inhaling fresh, clean, new energy, fresh life into our bodies, and just exhaling deeply, letting the stress and tension go from our bodies. And let's just gently let our arms slow down, bringing them to the sides of our body when that feels comfortable. And this morning we're going to do some breath of joy. So once our arms are down, we'll do a big inhale, reaching our hands straight up to the ceiling. We're going to arch back into waterfall. Bending our knees, letting our arms come down by our sides. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bending down, and we go at our own pace. We feel new, fresh life energy into our bodies, and we let go of the stress and tension. Breath of joy, we let our hearts sing open as they open wide. We open our heart chakras. Let's do a couple more. And we'll end with our arms reaching straight up towards our ceilings. We reach our fingers up, we stand tall, we feel our feet grounded on our mats, feeling a stretch on each side. This stretch right here is really good for just relieving anxiety from our bodies. We feel our feet, we feel our fingers, we breathe deep. And let's just gently hinge at our hips, swan diving down to our mats in a forward fold. We release our heads down, just gently and softly. Continuing to breathe deep. When it feels right, we'll ground our left hand, keeping our left knee bent. Straightening our right leg, reaching our right hand up. Exhaling our hand down, bending our right knee, straightening our left leg, reaching our left arm up. And we go at our own pace, matching our movements with our breath. Inhaling slowly and deep, and exhaling slowly and deep. And when it feels right, let's just come right back to the middle. Feeling our feet. If our hands are on our mat, we feel our hands. Then we're going to drop our right knee down to our mat. Dropping our left knee down to our mat. We're just going to feel our hands and knees first. Widening our fingers. And let's find our breath here. We're going to reach out with our right hand, reaching back with our left foot, holding for a few breaths, feeling our body strengthen as we inhale. And as we exhale, we feel ourselves soften and let go of the stress and tension. When it feels right, we bring all four back to our mat and we switch sides. We reach out with our left hand, back with our right foot. And we'll bring all fours back to our mat. We're going to do a flow of 3 poses. And the poses are going to be puppy. So we reach our hips towards our heels, allowing our heads to drop towards our mat. When it feels right for us, we move up into cow. Reaching our head up, reaching our pelvis up. And then we straighten our back into neutral spine. On our own inhale, we reach back into puppy. And exhale by softening and letting go. When it feels right, we inhale ourselves up into cow. Finding our deep breaths here. And we straighten our spine, back to neutral spine. And let's continue to move through those 3 postures at our own pace, softening and letting go as we exhale. And we continue to just breathe deep. Exhaling, softening and letting go. Inhaling, fresh new energy. Let's do one more full cycle. Inhaling, big breaths, and exhale by softening. When we've come back to neutral spine position, let's feel our hands and knees, continuing to breathe big breaths. We're going to move ourselves into plank. So if we can, we ground our toes, pushing our hips up. If it feels better for us to keep our knees down, we keep our knees down. Once we're in plank, we're going to go from downward dog, holding and feeling it, into plank, holding it and feeling our strength. We move back into downward dog with our own breath work, allowing ourselves to slow down, to breathe deep. When it feels right for us, we're going to move back into downward dog, pulling our heels even tighter to our mats. We're going to reach our right foot back, pulling it up towards the ceiling, and then dropping our heel towards our hips, pulling our knee up towards the ceiling. When it feels right for us, we're going to lower our right leg to our mats, coming into pigeon, reaching our heads up, letting our shoulder blades come back and down. And let's do a few big breaths here in pigeon. Inhaling fresh new energy, and exhale by softening towards our mats. When it feels right, we move back into downward dog, feeling our feet, feeling ourselves grounded to our mats. And then we lift up our left foot. We pull it towards our ceilings. When it feels right, we drop our left heel towards our hips, opening up our hips by pulling our knee up towards the ceiling. When it feels right, we're going to bring our left foot down to our mats, coming into pigeon on our left side, reaching our shoulder blades back, our heads up, inhaling big breaths, and softening and letting go as we exhale. When it feels right, let's curl our right toes under. We're going to push our left foot back to downward dog. And when it feels right, we're going to drop our knees back towards our mats. We're going to take a break in child's pose. So we allow our hips to come to our mats or come to our heels, allowing our arms to be grounded on our mats, allowing our forehead to come down to our mat. If that doesn't feel right, we can stack our hands, resting our forehead right on our hands. And we inhale big breaths, and we just soften ourselves by allowing ourselves to just relieve of tension and stress. When it feels right, we're going to ground our forearms, bringing our knees together into the left side of our mat. When it feels right, we're going to stack our hands one on top of each other, bringing our forehead right down onto our hands, breathing deep. This pose is a really good pose to just reconnect back to ourselves. Let's push ourselves back up onto our forearms and knees, and then just transition over to bringing our knees together onto our right side of our mat. Feeling the side of our left leg, stacking our hands, and then resting our frontal lobe, again right on our hands. This posture is also really good for balancing our vagus nerve, toning it and just slowing it down. And we'll push ourselves back up onto our forearms, coming up onto our knees. And then let's curl our toes under and push ourselves up into dolphin. If dolphin doesn't feel right for us, we can keep our knees down and just arch our back. And straighten our arms, come up into downward dog, and then let's step our right foot to our right hand and our left foot as we come into forward fold.
hands up our shins and just coming up into half forward fold. So we straighten our backs. We continue to breathe deep, inviting new energy in, and exhaling the stress and energy that doesn't serve a purpose for us. And we'll just slowly round our spine up, standing tall, stacking our vertebrae, feeling ourselves exactly for who we are. Let's let our arms just come down by our sides. Our shoulder blades are going to come back and down as we continue to open our heart center. And when it feels right, let's reach our hands up into the air over our heads, bringing our hands together, feeling our hands first, and then with a big exhale, we'll bring our thumbs to our heart center. And I invite us to breathe as long and deep as we can for a few breaths right here at heart center. I invite us to honestly feel ourselves. Do we feel more connected with ourselves than before we came to our mats? We're going to start our sun salutation. So let's inhale our arms straight up over our heads, and we exhale back into waterfall. Continuing to breathe deep through every posture and movement. And let's reach straight back up, gaining a big breath, and then exhaling by softly swan diving down to our mats in forward fold. And we'll step back with our right foot. If it feels better to drop our knee down, we can. Or else we can go up and do a high lunge. And then we reach out with our right hand and up and over. And we soften on our exhales. Then let's bring our hands to our mat, stepping our left foot back into plank, dropping our knees if we need to, feeling the strength that we have in our bodies. And we'll lower down into crocodile. And straighten our arms into upward dog. And let's pull our hips up towards the ceiling in downward dog. We'll step our left foot forward, coming into our lunge that feels right. And then reaching out with our left hand, up and over as we open our heart centers. Let's bring our hands back to our mats, stepping our left foot forward. And we slowly stand tall, feeling the air all around our bodies, pushing up into our own truth, standing tall, and then opening our heart centers by arching back into waterfall. We stand back tall, we bring our hands back together, and we exhale as we bring our thumbs to our heart center. We'll do the same thing on our left side. So let's reach up with our arms. We're going to exhale back into waterfall. And then reach back up with our hands. Gently swan dive down to our mats and forward fold. And we'll step back with our left foot, feeling our lunge, reaching out with our left hand and up and over as we feel the strength and softness in our bodies. We'll bring our hands to our mats, stepping our right foot back and holding in plank. And we lower down to crocodile. And we straighten our arms to upward dog. We pull our hips up into downward dog. We'll step forward with our left foot, finding our lunge, reaching out with our right hand, up and over. And we'll bring our hands to our mats, stepping forward with our right foot and releasing in forward fold. And we'll slowly stand tall, reaching our hands up over our heads, gaining fresh new energy, and exhaling into waterfall. And we'll reach back up, bringing our hands together, and on a big exhale, we'll exhale our thumbs to our heart center. So we're going to do our warrior poses. And through our warrior poses, we're going to hold them for a little bit longer than any of our other poses. So this disciplines our mind to be able to continue to breathe deep even when we feel uncomfortable. So let's step back with our right foot, finding a lunge that feels like we're strong and supported. Maybe it's a high lunge, maybe it's a low lunge. Instead of reaching our hands up and over and holding, we're going to reach them up and we're going to bring them down in front, holding, bringing our hands together. Let's inhale, reaching our hands up and over and softening as we exhale. Let's bring our right hand to the small of our back. We reach our left hand over. We're going to pivot our back foot, straightening our left leg. We're going to slide our left hand down our left leg, continuing to breathe as deep as we can. We're first going to let our right arm rest on our side, and then when it feels right for us, we'll reach it up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring both hands down onto our mat. We're going to pivot our right foot, bringing it about a foot behind our left, and then just leaning our weight back on our right foot. We continue to breathe as deep as we can, you guys. You're doing awesome. Bring our weight back onto our left foot. We're going to come into balancing half moon. So we either bring our right toes to our mats, or we extend our right foot back behind us, grounding our left hand and reaching up with our right. We'll bring all fours back to our mat. We're going to ground both feet and then pivot and turn our toes towards each other. And we're going to release and forward fold, breathing as deep as we can. And we'll pivot our feet so they're straight right underneath our hips. And then we just gently and slowly, with ease, stand up, rise tall again. We'll reach our hands up over our heads, bringing them together, and we'll exhale our thumbs to our heart centers. When it feels right for us, we'll reach back with our left foot, coming into a lunge on our right side. Finding what feels comfortable for us. Reaching our hands up and then exhale, pivoting at our hips. Reaching our fingers away from our left toes. And breathing as deep as we can. We'll reach our hands up towards the ceiling and hold here, breathing as deep as we can. We're stronger than we think we are. Let's bring our left hand back behind our back, reaching our right hand overhead. And we'll pivot our back foot, straightening our right leg, sliding our right hand down our right leg. And we're going to hold our left arm on our side for a few big deep breaths. When it feels right, we reach our left hand up towards the ceiling. We can either gaze up at our left hand or just let our head fall where it wants to fall. And let's bring our hands to our mat, stepping our left foot about a foot behind our right, and transferring our weight onto our left foot. And let's transfer our weight back onto our right foot as we come up into balancing half moon. So again, we can keep our left toes down, or else we lift our left foot back behind us, feeling the strength in both of our legs, feeling steady and strong. Let's return all fours back to our mats. We're going to again pivot our toes, pointing in, maybe even bringing our feet a little bit wider apart than they were last time. Whatever feels right for us. And then we just release our head. We can also stack our hands, pushing our hands through our triangle. Breathing as big of pranayama breaths as we can. in through our nose and exhaling as long as we can out. And let's ground our hands. We're going to drop our hips right between our feet, allowing our feet to pivot and turn in. This pose is really good at opening up our bottom or our root chakra, which that's what makes us feel grounded back to the earth. So we just breathe deep. We can either lift our heads up or we can round our spine and hold them down. We just allow the stress and tension to just leave our bodies, and we invite fresh new energy in, allowing our hearts to just open and start to sing. And let's drop our hips down to our mats. We're going to bring our left knee down first, bringing our left ankle down, and then we're going to pick up our right leg, bring it on top of our left. If we can, we bring our right knee down to our left foot. Mine doesn't make it that far, so we just do what we can. And then we're going to bring our left hand over to our right knee, or else all the way down to our mats, and we do a spinal twist. Continuing to breathe as deep as we can. And we'll come back to the middle, just gently and slowly. And we'll switch our legs. So we bring our right leg down. We bring our left leg on top of our right, feeling that stretch in our hips. And then stretching over to our left side. We calm ourselves down by just breathing deep, feeling ourselves grounded to our mat. We'll just gently and slowly come back to the middle. Let's bring our feet together, coming into butterfly, and then just gently leaning over our feet, breathing as deep as we can, slowing ourselves down. When it feels right, just come back, sitting tall. And then we're gonna lean back by slowly just stacking our vertebrae one at a time on our mats, engaging our core, keeping it strong, breathing deep. And once we're down on our mats, let's bring our feet together again in the butterfly. We're just going to allow our knees to open to the side, allowing our belly buttons to rise and fall. And we feel our back, our head, our hips, our feet grounded to our mats. And let's bring our knees back together. We're going to extend our feet up. If you're by a wall and want to just have even a more relaxing position for this, you can lay your back of your legs up the wall. If that doesn't feel right, we just hold them up. If we can, we lift our hips up, allowing our legs to just reach higher for the ceiling. And let's just slowly lower our legs back to our mats. And we'll just find ourselves in a position where we're laying, that we feel grounded and supported, that we feel able to just let go and ground ourselves to our mats. So we start our period of meditation. Relax our face muscles. We're aware of our whole bodies, from the top of our heads all the way to our feet. We continue to allow our abdomen to rise as far as it'll go, and exhale deep. I had crossed the line and I was free, but there was no one to welcome me to the land of freedom. I was a stranger in a strange land, said Harriet Tubman. The niyama, and I'm going to say this wrong, but I'll do my best, Isvara Pradihana, is when we surrender to God. Surrender flows naturally from the work we do, from one of the yamas to the other yamas and to the niyamas. Most of us first encounter it on the mat in the form of a higher sense of purpose or our calmness. We may have no idea what the yamas and the niyamas are, but we find that our time spent on the mat has changed our perspective and calmed us. Many of the concerns we shared with our coworkers, families, and friends simply vanish as our yoga practice gives rise to a set of new priorities and inner peace. We find that we have crossed a line and are now living in a new land, but there is no one there to welcome us. Our friends or partners may laugh and think this new obsession is just a phase. We are strangers in a strange land, but the sense of dislocation is temporary. Our roots in this new soil, over time, a new life will grow up around us if we practice with diligence. Eventually, Harriet Tubman guided 300 other slaves to freedom and spent the remaining 60 years of her life helping free the slaves. In doing so, she demonstrated how we might proceed in this new land we find ourselves in, and what we surrender to God might look like. We find our surrender to God as we calm ourselves. We find our peace and we breathe. We have everything we need right inside us. When it feels right, let's roll onto our right sides, taking our time, just feeling the right side of our body. when it feels right for us, we push ourselves up to a position where we're sitting. And I invite us to put the back of our hands out on our palms, letting our palms just be wide open as we allow gifts from the universe to come to ourselves as we breathe deep. And I invite us to chant the mantra either out loud or mentally. And it's, I am peace. I am love. I am light. And I invite us to do it again. I am peace. I am love. I am light. When it feels right, we're going to bring our hands to our heart center. We're then going to open our 3 fingers, keeping our pinkies and our thumbs together. We open our ring, our middle, and our pointers. And this is the lotus symbol. The lotus symbol is a symbol of transformation. So we all are forced right now to go through this transformation period. Basically everyone in the world. So like the meditation said, we can be at peace, leading the people around us at peace. We have to find our own peace first. Then we can help those around us. So I invite us to just breathe deep, being gentle and non-judging to ourselves as we find our peace right here on our mats. And if we only find our peace on our mats, it's okay. We did our job of taking care of ourselves this morning. Let's honor ourselves, each other, and our practice. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste. I thank all of you for joining me. What a gift. It makes me push myself more into my practice. I'm so grateful that you guys joined me. If you want to unmute and say stuff before we go through our days, I invite us to do that. I invite us to share yoga to those around us, because it's so peaceful and calming. And when we feel agitated today, we can, because it's gonna happen. It happens to me all the time.
just bound to happen right now. We can find a mantra of saying, I am peace, I am love, I am light. We can just find our breath. We can feel our feet grounded and visualize roots growing out of our feet. We can bring all these things that we just did on our mats, off of our mats. And yes, people, I'm sure, have their ideas, but one of the podcasts that I listened to through the Wisdom of Sages the other day, it talked about how when we start a yoga path and we're diligent about it and we add these things into our daily life, we are odd, and that's okay. And it's spreading, yoga is spreading, meditation is spreading. I think people are kind of craving that oddness now, so I invite us to just allow this oddness into our lives. Namaste. You're welcome. Namaste, you guys. Have a great day. Feels so weird not to have people here. Goodbye. Have a great day. Sending you guys some love.
You too, Jenna. Bye.
Bye.